Welcome to Old Testament Survey, Old Testament 102. For those of you who are returning from last quarter in Old Testament 101, welcome back. I am so glad that you have decided to join us for the continuation of Old Testament Survey. And for those of you who are joining the course midstream here in 102, welcome to you. My name is Dr. Steve Stewart, and I have the wonderful privilege of walking along with you in this journey in the study of the 39 books of the Old Testament. Of course, we covered part of those books in Old Testament 101. We've already looked at the books of the law as well as the books of history. And in 102, we're going to give our attention to the books of poetry and the books of prophecy. Probably, if you're like most Bible students, you're eager to get to the books of prophecy, and I'm eager to get to that portion of the Old Testament with you. But before we get to those books, we're going to give our attention to the books of poetry. And sometimes the books of poetry are overlooked in our studies of the Old Testament, but we want to give due diligence to making sure that we do an overview and gain some oversight and insight from all the books of the Old Testament. So we'll begin 102 with an introduction to the books of poetry, and then we'll look at the books themselves. Now, I am glad again that you're with us for this journey. For those of you who were with us in 101, we will be following pretty much the same format that we followed in 101. Each week you'll be given 3 assignments. Assignment number 1 will be a reading from your textbook, and then you will have follow-up questions at the end of each chapter. And please pay careful attention to the questions that I would like for you to answer and give due diligence in getting those turned in. Assignment number 2 is a list of vocabulary words that I would like for you to define for me. And then assignment number 3 will be essay questions. We'll follow the same format each week. Now, there will be a slight difference in the assignments as compared to 101. In 101, I gave you the opportunity, if you got behind on your work, I gave you the opportunity to make up late work and your grade was deducted. We're going to change that somewhat in 102. When we open each week's assignment on Tuesday of each week, then you will be given 2 weeks to complete that week's assignments. Now, I would like for you to have them completed by the end of each week. It makes my grading a lot easier to keep up with it if I can grade them all at one time. But I am going to give you 2 weeks to get your assignments in. After the 2 weeks is up, you will not be allowed to turn in late work beyond that. So I'm giving you 2 weeks for each assignment, but after that you will receive a 0 for any work that is turned in after that period of time. Now, if you turn your work in beyond 7 days, then you will still have a deduction in grade. Each week's assignments should be turned in at the end of that week. So, here's how I would suggest that you do it. You'll be given assignments on Tuesday of each week, and I would like for those assignments to be turned in by midnight on Monday of the following week. So you have a full week to get your assignment turned in. If you turn it in after that, you will have a deduction in grade, but you will still be given credit for the assignment. After 14 days, you will receive a 0 if you've not turned the work in at that point in time. So please make sure that you're doing your work in a timely way. Also, last quarter, if you turned in the work, you got credit for it. As a matter of fact, if you turned in the work, you received 100 for the assignment. I'm going to change that somewhat in 102 as well. In 102, I am going to grade according to the quality of work. For instance, last quarter, there were a few students who just excelled. They went above and beyond. And then there were other students who would give me just the bare minimum, just a bare 1-sentence response to some of the questions. And that's not going to get you 100 on assignments in 102. You'll have to show me that you've read the material and that you understand it enough to give me a reasonable response to all of the questions, especially the questions at the end of the chapters, and the essay questions. Definitions, they can be as short or as long as you want them to be, just as long as I know that you have given me a concise definition that is the definition of the term. So I hope you understand that now, the changes that I'm going to be making in the grading system. And if you have any questions about any of that, then please shoot me an email or give me a telephone call, and I'll be glad to respond to that. You will also have access to your syllabus, and I encourage you to download that, make a copy of it, or save it on your computer so that you can refer to it. Your reading assignments, week by week reading assignments, will be on the syllabus, as well as your questions that you're going to be asked to address will be in each one of the week's assignments in their reading assignment in assignment 1. So your reading assignments can be found each week in the lessons, and if you want to go ahead and look ahead at that, you can see all of the week's reading assignments in the syllabus. So I encourage you to take advantage of that information. Again, I'm excited about making this journey with you. For those of you who are coming back from 101, welcome. I'm glad to have you back. For those of you who may be joining us midstream in 102, welcome. And I trust and pray that it's going to be a wonderful experience for each of us and all of us as we make this journey together. God bless you, and I'll see you in session number 1.